This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers Report for a chilly Tuesday morning. B-R-R-R. Yeah, maybe it's cold outside. Seth Merrill from Equidaily.com, joined by Mike Jarbo from the Times-Union. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. There should be, remember that horse, R? There should be a
Brr. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that would be the hunch bet of the day. Speaking of which, Tuesday sees the absence of Parks, Charlestown, and Beulah. Those three tracks have canceled due to the weather this afternoon. So again, Parks, Charlestown, and Beulah are out. That pretty much leaves the two tracks we're going to take a look at. I'm going to look at Turf Pace a little later on, and then Sunland will be in just a couple of minutes from Mike. There are also some harness tracks obviously running as well, but on the thoroughbred side, things are slim pickings for a Tuesday, but hopefully we'll give you enough good information that you can cash some tickets and have some fun anyway.
I think I'm jinxing Parks. I've been assigned to cover Parks every week, and I think I've gotten out of 5 weeks. Yeah. I think I've gotten one card that actually ran.
Yeah, you are the bad omen for Parks. It certainly does seem that way. Before we get to the handicapping, just touch on, we had some nice 3-year-old races to kick off the Derby Trail. I'll get your thoughts on those. There was also a news, we were talking a little bit before the show. You had some thoughts on a little snafu down at Aqueduct on Sunday when they had a tractor malfunction. I guess it was a transmission malfunction. Couldn't get the tractor off the track prior to sunset, which meant they canceled their last race, became an all in the picks. State law meant the pick six carryover money now goes to Thursday, and they made that pick six an all in the last race due to that malfunction. But your thoughts there?
Well, you know, I'm just trying to imagine having a live pick six ticket in that race, because in that race there were 2 horses who were pretty heavily bet. One was a heavy favorite and the other was a clear second favorite. And everybody else was rather long. I'm trying to imagine somebody sitting there with either one or both of those horses and then seeing this ridiculous problem occur. You know, I've seen this once or twice, but never for the last race of the day where it caused such havoc in the betting.
Yeah, the pick situations are funny. Eventually, they did change rules a few years ago when races were taken off the grass, because originally that was, and so they continue to tweak these rules. But the flip side is, because it's kind of a funny, unique situation, like you say, if you had maybe the favorite in the last race, you looked and scratched your head and felt that things didn't go your way. That said, the 5 races paid $7,000.
Yeah, I mean,
still walked away.
Yeah, it wasn't like you walked away with lint in your pockets, but still, I mean, there was, I believe, a 3 to 5 shot in that race or something, and obviously the payoff would have been much better with the carryover and everything.
No question, the last race is going to knock a lot of tickets. You would assume. There can be quirky sequences where there'll only be 1 or 2 tickets alive, perhaps. But then the flip side of that is also, if there were no tickets alive, these people got out okay. And I don't know whether that was the case this past Sunday. I didn't see the will pays either. But I'm just saying, these picks are just quirky situations. So if it had come to the last race, and let's say there were no tickets alive, if they run the race, everybody is guaranteed at best a consolation. But if in this situation, if the tractor hadn't been pulled off, they had to cancel that last race, those people who would normally be getting the consolation would have been paid a pick six, a payout. They would have gotten the pool paid off to them. I mean, so it works out both ways.
I wouldn't have turned it down, but still, I mean, yeah. And I read somewhere, I believe it was in the Racing Forum, that there's some kind of law in New York State, I don't know if you know about this, that prohibits thoroughbred tracks from having lights.
Sunset. Oh, I didn't see that. Well, it makes sense. It's no racing after sunset is no thoroughbred racing after sunset is the deal, which then would prohibit lights.
I wonder what that's about, if it's maybe to protect the harness racing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no question about it. And they have a similar rule down in Florida, I believe, that they've been trying to change, because I think Gulfstream has thought about potentially some night cards and whatnot, but it's a similar situation. Yeah, it's to protect the harness interest, which these days with slots, I don't know whether, I think that's an archaic kind of a situation, but yeah, it was certainly a funny deal on Sunday down at Aqueduct. And again, the law says if all the races in the sequence aren't run, if there's a carryover, that doesn't get paid out. It was just what was put into the pool that day got paid, and the carryover money now goes to Thursday. So when they come back on Thursday, there will be a pick six carryover. Just wanted to touch on, see if you had any thoughts. A couple of, well, actually, there was, when we had 3 or 4 3-year-old races on Saturday, going back to New Year's Day last week, the Gulfstream Park Derby. So we're on the Triple Crown Trail, Gulfstream Park Derby, General A-Rod, going to Saturday in the Jerome Noble Moon. Anything stand out to you in the 3-year-old races?
I really liked that General A-Rod race. That was a terrific stretch duel with Wildcat Red. Joel Rosario got the win for Mike Maker. Great race to watch.
Yeah.
And the Jerome Noble Moon I thought was a terrific effort in that race. Got caught between horses early, conducted himself pretty well. Got to the inside eventually at the half, and toward the end of the race looked like he might have been getting caught too. And then he just had that little extra, like our friend Will Take Charge had in Saratoga. Just had that little extra oomph to get the job done. Very good effort by that horse.
Yeah, I think all 3 coming out of, I mentioned it yesterday, coming out of the Jerome will be worth watching. Certainly the top 2, it was a nice battle between those. But I thought Scotland, lightly raced, still a maiden, top of the stretch. I thought Scotland for Anthony Dutrow was making a move up the rail that looked like a very good, potentially winning move. I just think the horse was a little green, didn't want to go through the spot. So I'm going to, all 3 of the horses in that race I'll be watching going forward. But we are on the Triple Crown Trail. It's a fun time of year.
Oh, it sure is. Can't beat it.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at, again, with Parks canceled, Charlestown and Beulah, we're down to Sunderland and Turf Paradise. We'll kick things off with Sunderland for this afternoon. 300-yard race in the opener. This is a maiden 15,000 claimer. These are 3-year-olds. Again, a quick 3 football fields they'll travel.
I'm going to go 8-3-10 in this race. In the top spot, I have Winners Corona, who last out had stumbled at 7-5. And if you're stumbling in a 350-yard race, you're in a world of hurt. This one takes a class drop, and the last 2 efforts were really good. Got beaten neck both times, and after that nice rally last time, I think if this one gets out of the gate okay, we're gonna see this one in the winner's circle. My second choice is the 3, and this I'm really going hog wild on this one. Separate Love, who is 15-1 on the morning line, but this one has had trouble in 2 of his 3 races, and the figures are a little light, but I just have a feeling that this one can step up. Last time I bore in and bumped one of the rivals, and then still didn't finish that far back. So we're going to put Separate Love in the second spot and hope for like 15 or 20-1 on that one. And in the third spot, we're going with Runaway Wild, who had a bad break in the last start. And as we said, bad break at this kind of distance, kiss it goodbye, you're done. So with a better start, I think this one can get a piece of the pie. 8, 3, and 10 in the first at Sunderland.
They're going to stretch out a little further in race number 2, 440 yards. These are maiden 4-year-olds, $6,500 tags. Again, they'll go down the stretch, 440 yards.
8, 5, and 4 in this race for me. I'm taking Call My Hero on top, who showed improved speed last time out, and gets a positive rider switch, I think. Broke outward last time, just missed while drifting out, and I think this one has figures that stand out in this race. And with those numbers, I think this one is really going to be tough to beat. So we'll take the 8, Call My Hero on top. In the second spot, we'll go with 5, Flying Is Easy. And this is only one of 2 here who doesn't have a layoff line in his last race. Improved the second off layoff off the debut, and had all kinds of trouble actually in his debut too. Was pinched back at the start and had a bad trip. So I think that one's a throwout, and this, I don't think you can discount this one, even at a good price. And in the third spot, we'll go to the 4, Mary's Dynasty, who shortens back in distance from 550 whole yards to 440 yards. So gets a big class drop and comes back from a brief break since the 1st of December. We'll go 8-5-4 in the second at Sunland.
Race number 3 at Sunland Park this afternoon. We are back to 350 yards. These are state-bred B-level claimers, $5,000 tags. They are 4-year-olds and up.
4-2-3 in this race. We're going to kick it off with Mighty Colors on top, who finished up well last out. If you look 3 back, this one has a win over the course, has 19 of 36 in the money, and comes off a September layoff. And I would like to see more workouts from this one, but I mean, if they're only going 350 yards, I don't think they have to be all that tight to get that distance. I think even I could get that one after a big meal. So we'll take the 4 on top, Mighty Colors. In the second spot, we'll go to the inside to the 2, Call a Fast Corona, who last out was caught in a duel at 3-2, and it looks to be getting better every start over the past, since the fall. Their speed to his outside, but I think he can get a good position toward the rail, and has 3 wins lifetime, and I think this one looks good for the second spot. Third spot, Caught on Tape. This one shortened up last time and tries the same distance. Got caught in a pace duel in the last at a big price. And once again, this one could be a bomber and could, underneath my top pick, Mighty Colors, these two could make for a nice try. 4-2-3 in the third at Sunland.
Race number 4 at Sunland Park this afternoon is a more traditional distance. Still a quick distance of 5 furlongs, but certainly a stretch out from those races that are measured in yards. It's a plain vanilla claimer, $5,000 tag, 4-year-olds and up.
We're on 7-4-2 in this race. Daddy Ben is my top selection. Now, Daddy Ben was hung wide in the last start and still put in a decent effort, finishing second by 4.5 lengths. And if you go back a few races, had back-to-back wins at 6 furlongs. And shortening up in here to 5 furlongs might be to his benefit. Faces other speed, but I think the turn back in distance could be the key for this one, for Daddy Ben to get the job done here. In the second position, I have Ask, the number 4, who closed well made up a couple lengths late in the last start, and could get a setup in here going third off layoff. The one thing I'm concerned about is this rider is 0 for 18, so let's hope he can find his way to maybe get a win or second here. He's been struggling. And in third spot, Metallic Mist, who is your likely favorite, who goes third off the layoff here, but has the look of a hanger in the last few starts. Got bet to 6-5 last time, and really didn't have any excuse. Gave it up late, and the time before that, pretty much the same drill. Got nipped at the wire. And when a horse keeps running at short odds and keeps getting nailed late, it's just a real turnoff to me to put them on top. So I'll put that one in the third spot. 7-4-2 in the fourth at Sunland Park.
Race number 5 at Sunland this afternoon is a conditional claiming event. The claiming tags $5,000 to $7,500. Now the winners of 3 lifetime. The condition 4-year-olds and up. Now we're talking racehorse distance.
Yeah.
They're going a mile.
4, 8, and 6 in this one. I'm taking Forest Ablazing on top, who advanced to this condition by winning the last start, and this one has been running decent times and looks like it might get a good setup in this one. Should be coming late with some other speeds in here, and I think the last victory might be confidence inspiring for this one, and I'm looking for this one to come late and get the money for me. So we'll take Forest Ablazing on top. Underneath, we're going to go to the outside, Major Affair, who took 9 starts to to break his maiden, and fourth try after a drop in company, and where is this? Well, last time went off at 1-5 and still got beat, and boy, I hate that. I just hate a horse that looks like it can't lose, and sure enough, you're ripping your tickets up at the end. This one also has a late turn of foot, and will be coming at the end. And for the third spot, number 6, Tis Sexy, stretches back out. Apparently didn't like the shorter distances, and has showed speed before. And the rider got to know her in the last race, and I think this one will get a piece of the pie here. So in the 5th at Sunland, 4, 8, and 6.
All right, we'll remind you once again, Parks, Charlestown, and Beulah canceled for Tuesday. We're looking at Sunland Park, and a little later on Turf Paradise. We'll be back with more right after this. I'm Seth Merrill. Join me weekdays at 10 for Racing Across America. We'll look at important races from around the country, get insight from top handicappers and analysts, and preview the upcoming week in racing. That's Racing Across America, weekdays at 10, right here on the OTB TV network.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got a move that tells me what to do. If you don't, brothers and sisters, then you won't know what it's all about.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill and Mike Jarbo in here. We will continue now our look at Sunland Park for this afternoon. Their race number 6. It is a B-level claimer, $5,000 tags. These are state-bred 4-year-olds and up, going 1.70 miles.
418 for me in this one. Proud Spanky I'm going to put on top, the number 4. This one has shown some good efforts at this level and one last out for this price tag. Goes out for the top connections here with Justin Evans training and Ryan Eichelberry riding. Last time went off at nearly 12-1 and got a pretty decent score, and that was a really gritty effort if you look at it. And I think this one can repeat. This is second off layoff, and I got a hunch that this one's going to show up again today. So we'll put the number 4 Proud Spanky on top. In the second position, we'll go to the 1 on the inside. This was second to the choice in the last race and keeps the same rider. Was 7 clear of the third place finisher last out. Third off layoff today. That was a really good effort last time. And third off layoff should be cranked, ready to go. And like I said, 7 clear last out, so it could be kind of a rematch between Proud Spanky and who left who. And in the third spot, I'm going to go for the 8, Deep Gulch, and this is pretty funny. This one finished third in the same race, so I'm calling for the same order of finish as these 3 had last out. This one closed okay into a slow pace 2 back. Last out saved ground and ran a pretty even race. This one was bet to 5-2 in the last outing versus the other two that I have on top of them. So I see the same order of finish in this race. 4-1-8 for me at Sunland Park in the 6th.
I said it before, I think a lot of times we get too clever when a race is run and they come in a certain order, and I do it all the time, and then you say, oh, they're going to flip around this, and then the next time out they go exactly the same way. So I have no problem looking at it and saying, let's look for the replay.
I'm tired about thinking myself. I'm not going to outthink myself today.
7th race at Sunland Park is a plain vanilla claimer, 7,500 tags to $10,000. 4-year-olds up, they'll go a mile and 70.
5-2-6 for me in this race. Hold'em Hustler, the 5, stretches back out to the winning distance. This one won at this distance, 3 back, and takes a class drop from. Takes a class drop in this one, and once again, those connections, Eichelberry and Evans, have been really tough to beat at Sunland. And the last race wasn't as bad as it looks. Finished 5th, beaten 4 lengths. And a little improvement over this one, 3rd off layoff, and I think this one gets the winner's circle. So we'll take the 5 Hold'em Hustler on top. In the 2nd spot, the 2 Casa de Cambio, who looks to have enough speed to be in this one early, and has been knocking at the door the last few races, and has been taking money every time. 7-2, 3-1, 8-5. This one's 9 for 18 in the exacta, and I think it's going to show up today. And in the 3rd spot, we'll go to the 6, So Honored, who's had a little bit of time off. If you do a little archaeology, has shown some good races in the past. And at Zia Park had a race on September 17th that was pretty good after having a bad break, and then came back and won the next start. This one has won 3 of 9 last year, and I'm gonna have this one coming in and getting a little piece of it. So 5-2-6, and the 7th at Sunland.
8th race at Sunland this afternoon, a state-bred maiden event, state-bred maiden claiming event, $7,500 tags. These are 3-year-old fillies. They'll go 3/4 of a mile.
I keep thinking how much warmer it probably is at Sunland Park.
I don't want to think about that.
2, 11, and 7 in here, and this is one of those races where you have horses that just don't seem to want to win, and you see a first-time starter, and you have to say, I'm gonna take a shot. And this one, my first-time starter, is in the 2 Sarah, who actually shows 2 pretty good workouts over the last month. And meeting a field like this, I think off those works, Sarah can get the jump on these and get the better of them. Maybe get a little price too. And for the 2nd spot, we're going to go way to the outside with No Room in My Bed, who seems to have a bit of seconditis at short prices, and like I said, not my favorite thing. 2 back, this was making a smart late move, ran out of ground. And again, the potent connections, you've got Rye Eichelberry, who's been riding really well out there on board. So we'll put that one in the 2nd spot. For the 3rd spot, we're going to go to the 7 Beltrix Lestrang, whatever that means, who takes a class drop, is 0 for 8. I'm not really thrilled about that. But the class relief might be the ticket for this one to get it done. 2, 11, and 7 in the 8th at Sunland Park.
The 9th at Sunland today is an optional claimer money allowance, I'm assuming, with the $N$Y, a calendar money condition. Fillies and Mayors, 4-year-olds and up, they'll go a quick 5.5.
5-1-7 in this race. I'm going to put last wager on top. This one, 2 back, stayed too close to a suicidal pace, and I'm even wondering if this pace is correct here. It says they went the half in 42 and change, and I'm wondering if that is correct. This one had a good return at this level, and has by far the most wins in the field with 6. And so I think this one is the best looking one in this race. And for the second spot, we're going to go inside to Cottage Cupcake, who should be all pumped up and ready to go after running two pretty darn good races back to back. Ran in March, wire to field to break the maiden, and then came back with an allowance victory in October. And with the inside draw, this one is going to get out early and might be a little bit tough to catch. And not going to be much of a price, but I'm going to try to get my price with the 5 last wager on top. For the third spot, all the way to the outside again, Lunchtime Diva, who also has good speed, can clear and maybe press the inside horse, and could possibly keep going. And if at any rate could also be the horse that duels Cottage Cupcake into defeat and gives my last wager the chance to get up late. 5-1-7 in the 9th at Sunland Park.
Yeah, they weren't kidding around on November 5th. 21-42 and change.
Isn't that something?
If we are to believe that.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, the 10th at Sunland this afternoon. Optional claimer starter allowance, 15,000 claims, 7,000 in the starter allowance category. State bred 4-year-olds and up, going 5.5.
8, 5, and 4. I'm going to put Zevon Star on top, who turns back in this race and seems to be the most likely one to be on the lead here. This one spit it between horses off a short layoff last out, but I think having that race under his belt, I think he's going to show up with an improved effort and have a little more when it gets the running really gets going this time out. In the second spot, we're going to go to the 5, Hunting Dixie. Hunting Dixie goes back to a pilot who knows him, ran with him back in August, and the rider switch could be a good one here. This one turns back in distance and tired on a wide trip last out. Should be decent in here. And for the third spot, we're gonna take Big Blaze, who didn't do a whole lot last out, but I think might have needed that race after being off since September. So 8-5-4 in the 10th at Sunland Park.
All right, that'll bring us to our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, I'll shift my attention out to Turf Paradise. Stay tuned.
This is Steve Beck. Join me Tuesday through Saturday here on OTB TV for At the Races, my Sirius XM daily news magazine of the thoroughbred industry. Handicapping, interviews, analysis, everything you could want. 6 a.m. OTB TV.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Each morning on the OTB TV network, you get the very best in horse racing programming. Weekdays begin with the Handicappers Report, where professional handicappers share their selections and analysis of the day's racing. Followed by Racing Across America, a daily conversation with racing personalities from around the country. Saturdays include Down the Stretch, where Mark Casano speaks with the biggest names in racing. And Sunday mornings, it's Loose on the Lead, where Steve Bick and I offer news and a unique lineup of weekly guests. All here on the OTB TV network.
Wagering at CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Capital Bet TV, the fastest and easiest online wagering experience where you can monitor 5 different tracks simultaneously. 2. Capital Bet Express. Its straightforward program layout and interactive handicapping information lets you build your wager quickly and efficiently. And 3. Capital Bet Pro, designed especially for the professional horse player. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Missed one of our TV shows? No worries. Now you can catch all your favorite programs online. Simply log on to CapitalOTB.com and click on the YouTube link at the bottom of the homepage. And look for our new podcast coming soon. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
And welcome back to the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. My mistake, there's 11 at Sunland today. So we got one more race at Sunland, then we'll kick over to Turf Paradise. But Mike, the finale today at Sunland, race number 11, maiden claimers, $6,500 to $10,000. These are 4- and 5-year-olds. They'll go 5 furlongs.
I think Seth wanted to go home early and go skating out in the parking lot there or something. 3-4-7 for me in the 11th at Sunland. I can't believe they have 11 at this track. Yeah, we're going to take Salty Treasure on top, the 3. This one had a good effort last out, went between horses, was pressed and tired, but I think might face a little less pressure today, and that could be the key to getting home. Could get a little bit of early heat from Blue Sun on the inside, but this one is, I don't think this one has any lungs at all, and is just going to go out a little bit early and press my choice, but I think it's going to back up quickly, and I think Salty Treasure can hang on from there. In the second spot, we have Wild as the Wind, who takes a big class drop, has been off a year, and takes that drop from maiden specials to maiden claimers, and that's, as everyone says, that's the biggest drop in horse racing. So it didn't show much in the debut, getting beat 16 lengths and finishing 6th, but with this class drop can definitely show up with a good effort in here. In the third, we're going to go to the outside to 7, Danny's Birthday, who was narrowly beaten last out versus $6,500 claimers. Made up some ground late and might benefit if there's actually a duel between Salty Treasure and Blue Sun. And this is the one that's most likely to come home hard in the lane. So we're going to put that one third, and we're going to go 3-4-7 in the nightcap at Sunland Park.
And I'm just looking here. I see the number 6 Leaving Tracks is owned by Leonard Block. I think Leonard Block was one of the owners of Mind That Bird, and I pulled up a. They have the Mind That Bird movie that's going to come out later this year, and sure enough, Block is being played by Albany's own William DeVay.
Oh, wonderful!
So there you go. Something of a wild come from it from a different angle hunch bet there in race number 6. Somehow there's an Albany connection. We're 7 degrees away from Albany, but who knows?
Well, it's 7 degrees outside too,
so it all works out. All right, we'll shift over now and move on to taking a look at Turf Paradise this afternoon.
Seth's going to be looking at Turf Paradise for you. In the first race, we have 6 furlong maiden claiming event, 4-year-olds and up, going for a $5,000 tag.
And did turf yesterday as well. Couple of winners in, I think they had 9 or 10 yesterday, but it was a couple of winners on top. But I made 2 plays of the day calls, and those both hit. Not for super value, but it didn't look like there would be. But a little bit of a profit on the 2 plays of the day. So see what we can do today down at Turf. Opener I have at 6, 2, 7, and 4. The number 6 is Last Chance Kid. Mike said it earlier, in a race like this with a bunch of horses that have had plenty of opportunities, why not take a little bit of a look at the fresh face? This one, on top, I think you have a sire that can get it done. On the bottom, maybe not that thrilled. The dam produced a sibling called Hot Rod Bill. That one took 6 starts to win, so not a super amount of precociousness necessarily. The trainer with very limited starters, with a very limited sample, a very limited sample, but okay with first-time starters. Now, I looked at some brisk statistics, and the brisk statistics weren't so good for this trainer first time out of the box. I'm assuming they're probably a longer period. So maybe this guy just recently has gotten a little bit better, although, again, we're talking a super limited sample. But there's enough there that I think this trainer can get it done first time out of the box. And there's a little bit of breeding and maybe a little nurture as well, a little nature, a little nurture, but more importantly, again, most of the rest of the field has had plenty of opportunity and hasn't gotten it done. So we'll go with the fresh face factor in here. Number 6, Last Chance Kid on top. Second spot, the number 2, Rustin Rhett. In a similar event last time, and ran a decent second in there with a decent numbers compared to the rest of this field. I think Rustin Rhett is going to be competitive. And then the number 7, Ribeye, who been racing in and around this company and has The last time out, not so much. Last time out, maybe a little bit of a dud. Starts 2 and 3 back, though, certainly fit with this bunch. And again, it's just one where you're looking for a little something to hang your hat on. Both of my second and third selections just have some recent numbers that I think, as compared to the rest of this field, are good enough to be up there in the hunt. You can't jump into a race like this, though, with a super amount of confidence. But I have it 6, 2, 7, and 4.
Okay, moving on to the second at Turf Paradise, we have the gals this time going 6.5 furlongs, 4-year-olds and up, $3,500 claimers, non-winners of 2 lifetime.
I give it 6, 4, 2, and 5. The number 6 is tough to convince. It's just, I've talked about it before, the venue class relief. Sometimes there's price class relief, sometimes there's venue class relief, sometimes you get both, and in fact you get both here. This horse had been racing in California, both Southern and Northern. I think that is venue class relief moving over to Turf Paradise, but was also racing against significantly better in California, so drops down the claiming ladder as well. So a double shot of class relief, tough to convince on top. Second spot, we'll go with Princess of the Ring, the number 4 horse. I'm just not quite sure. These are always, you'll know more about this horse after this race than before. But we have to make a decision now. So do I believe that last number? Was that a little bit of a light bulb moment? I have a feeling maybe it was. The lifetime best buyer figure last time with a pretty good finishing position. Just the return of the blinkers, I think it just all adds up to maybe after 6 career starts, Princess of the Ring's getting the hang of it. So I'll put this one in the second spot based on that last performance. And then Mini Wawa, the number 2 horse, similar scenario to Princess of the Ring. I think the last start just kind of signaled perhaps a little bit of a turnaround, and we'll hang our hat on that. Having, this one broke the maiden last time, and it took 12 career starts. So to string 2 together is probably a little bit of a challenge, but I certainly think off of that last one, this horse can be up in the mix. So in the second race, I have it 6, 4, 2, and 5.
Okay, in the third at Turf Paradise, we have $5,000 maiden claimers, 4-year-olds and up, going for a $6,000 purse, and mile is the distance.
5, 6, 1, and 3. The number 5 is Crazy Cozy. Just another horse that, like the 2 in the last race, might be getting the hang of it after 12 career starts. The last one it just seemed to be a little bit of a wake-up call. Took the lead late and then got caught. The 2 starts before that weren't much. And those are the 3 starts this horse has made since moving from California. So got the venue class relief I like to see, and maybe is just now getting some education and finding a home here at Turf Paradise, because again, I think the last race is one you can kind of get a little bit of confidence from, as much as you can get in a race like this. Second spot, the number 6, Modern Gentleman. This horse, a couple of okay efforts in the last 2 starts. That's after a long string of races on the turf. So I think this horse has found its home at this 5,000 level and on the main track. I think Modern Gentleman will definitely be up in the mix. And then in the third spot, we'll go with the number 1, Collective Concept. Similar kind of situation as we've talked about in the last couple of races. The lifetime best buyer figure last time just may signal this one is kind of figuring it out. But like the other race earlier, not one you're going to jump into with a whole lot of confidence. It wouldn't shock me if something crazy happened, because it's just a very weak field where I think any one of these can kind of jump up and put in a career best effort. But I have it 5, 6, 1, and 3.
Okay, in the fourth at Turf Paradise, we have what I think is the only allowance race on the card today. $14,000 allowance. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, state-bred fillies and mares going 6 furlongs.
I have it 1, 2, 6, and 7. The number 1 is Katie Pie. Got that venue class relief last time and ran a 4th place finish in a field of 8. Claimed out of that race. Trainer's okay first off the claim. Moved out of a barn of an okay trainer. So I'm looking at this trainer-wise as being kind of a lateral move, but I'm hoping the horse maybe got a little bit of an education over the Turf Paradise strip last time, and with one under the belt since the move from Southern California, looking for Katie Pie to maybe move up a little bit today. Second spot, the number 2, $4. Third start back off a May to October layoff, and the numbers fired since the return seem to indicate this horse came back as a little bit of an improved performer. So third start back for an improved performer. I think $4 will be interesting in here. Third spot, Cat Lady Do, the number 6 horse. Might be dangerous if ready off the layoff. This one was a little bit of a head scratcher for me. First couple of starts were decent and showed some improvement, start 1 to start 2. We're going back to November of 2012 and then February of last year. And again, broke the maiden in the career debut. Buyer figure, however, improved nicely in the second career start, although it was a third place finish. Followed up in March with an even improved performance number-wise, but that was on the turf. Now off since. Hey, so I'm kind of going both ways. I think class-wise, this horse may be a little bit better than these, but off the layoff, also a horse that I think might need one at this level. So wasn't quite sure which way to do it. It's not going to surprise me if Cat Lady Do goes one way or the other. Really nice performance or needs one. Have to have it in the mix, though, I think, off of those first 3 starts. In the fourth, 1, 2, 6, and 7.
Moving on to the 5th at Turf Paradise, we have $10,000 claimers, those hard-knocking guys. I just love them. Non-winners of 2 lifetime 4-year-olds and up, going a mile.
2, 1, 6, and 7. The number 2 is Livin' Lovin' Man, who just might prove interesting on the stretch out. This is a horse that is pretty much a sprinter, a dedicated sprinter. Sometimes those horses can get out there and make the race very interesting, either playing catch me if you can early or being up in the hunt early. And then if the jock gets a little aggressive on the far turn, they've got the sprinter's speed to get home in front of the rest of the field. I just find the stretch out here on Livin' Lovin' Man to be kind of intriguing. Number 1, Brenda's Bar, Potent Connection, Scott Stevens, Diodoro is the trainer. Both going very, very well at this meet. And in fact, a little later on Racing Across America, have my regular visit from Michael Chamberlain from Turf Paradise. And I thought today we're deep enough into the meet now to just do a little recap on trainers and jockeys and who's going well at the current meet. And these are certainly a couple of the names we'll bring up later with Michael Chamberlain. So Potent Connections for a horse dropping in for a tag today, Brenda's Bar in the 2nd spot. 3rd spot for me in race 5 goes to Rises East, Sets West, the number 7 horse. This horse has run well in 2 starts since moving to Turf Paradise from Southern California, but those were on the turf. Now, this horse raced on the dirt at Santa Anita back in October and November. The numbers weren't as good as those last 2 turf starts, but again, those were at Southern California against better performers. So this is one, it's just going to be interesting to see today. This horse goes back to the dirt, but I certainly have a feeling class-wise, this horse may have a little bit of an edge on most of the horses in here and should run well, even with the surface switch. So Rises East, Sets West, also in my mix. 5th race today at Turf Paradise, 2, 1, 7, and 6.
And that brings us up to a break. We'll be right back with more of Seth's handicapping stylings from Turf Paradise right after this.
I'm Steve Beck.
And I'm Seth Merrill.
Together, we're Loose on the Lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., Loose on the Lead, Capital OTB.
Using CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Simply log on with your username and password from the homepage. 2. Fund your Capital OTB account through our Easy Money, Green Dot, or Visa MasterCard options. And 3. Place your bet on one of our 3 easy-to-navigate wagering platforms, Capital Bet TV, Capital Bet Express, or Capital Bet Pro. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got a move that tells me what to do. If you don't, brothers and sisters, then you won't know
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB Television Network.
Welcome back to Handicappers Report. I'm Mike Jarbo of the Times-Union. I'm here with Seth Merrill, who is giving us some good money-making advice from Turf Paradise today. We're up to the sixth race. We're going 6 furlongs, 3-year-olds. Claimers for an $8,000 tag, non-winners at 2 lifetimes. Seth?
4, 5, 2, and 6. The number 4 is Son of Pistola. The 62 buyer figure is big in this field. You have to go back 3 starts, and since then, in a couple of starts, hasn't lived up to that, hasn't even been close to that. But I'm just looking and saying, you know, this horse might get back to that with the drop in for a tag today. The last 3 races have been an allowance company, and in fact, a couple of allowance and then a little stakes race as well. So drop in for an 8 tag today. Maybe we'll rebound to that 62, and as I say, in this field, that would be big. So Son of Pistola on top for me. Second spot, we'll go with Whiz Hit. Last time out, also was in that little stakes race, just overmatched there. Otherwise, I think seems like a pretty good fit in with this bunch. And then in the third spot, we will go with Bonita Rock. Another one that last time out, not so good, and that was at this 8 level. The numbers just prior to that were pretty good, though. So the last time looks like an aberration to me. It was over a wet, fast, sealed track. Maybe today on a drier track we'll get a better, more indicative performance. Again, I want to get back to those numbers. We saw 2, 3, and 4 starts back. And I think, as I say, that last was an aberration. I think we'll get closer. We'll see. But I just have a feeling that last one we can maybe draw a little bit of a line through. I'm going to do a 4-horse exacta box in here, and I do it with some trepidation. I'll tell you, take a look up at the odds board and see what the odds are, because I don't have any, my past performances have no morning line. So I'm a little clueless there as to whether we'll find the value we want, but I have a feeling it's one of those races, given that at least a couple of horses I like doing a little bit of a clunker last time, I think the value could hold up. But take a look again at the probable pace to make sure going 4 deep makes sense. But I will do a play of the day 4-horse exacta box, 4, 5, 2, and 6.
Okay, moving on to the 7th race, we have $3,500 claimers going 6 furlongs, non-winners at 3 lifetime, 4-year-olds and up, going for a $6,000 pot. Seth?
I have a 3, 1, 8, and 5. The number 3 is Unusual Mystery, and this one, yet another one that I think is better than the latest effort. You go back before that last start at pretty consistent numbers. The last aberration, and I think this one we can even hope for the rebound with a little bit of a change-up, and that change-up is the cutback in distance. This horse showed some good speed in the last couple of starts, going a mile. Again, the last time a little bit of a dud, but I'm looking for a wake-up call going back to those prior numbers with the cutback to 6 furlongs today. Second spot, the number 1, Talk the Walk. Get some additional class relief. Had a little trouble last time, so I think there was an excuse. Got the venue class relief with the move from Southern California to Turf Paradise. And again, there was some trouble last time at the start, then rushed up to contend. That's always a tough thing to overcome. But then you add in some additional money class relief today, coming about a step down the claiming ladder. And I think Talk the Walk is going to be competitive today. And then the number 8-horse Conventional. Nice closing effort last time. You know, you're always a little bit up against it when you're coming from out of the clouds like that. But I think a repeat of that performance certainly is going to make this one very, very interesting as they hit the lane. So in race number 7 this afternoon, I have a 3, 1, 8, and 5.
Moving on to the 8th at Turf Paradise, we're going a mile and a 16th, $3,000 beaten claimers, 4-year-olds and up, with my favorite condition of the day, horses that have not finished in the money at the meet.
There you go. That's 6.
How often do you see that?
6, 11, 2, and 7. The number 6 is Bear Famous Trip. And this horse is clearly going to be the one to beat if able to live up to, you know, its normal buyers. The last 3 starts have been on the turf, but before that was running on the dirt, and the buyers are right there. And the buyers that this horse normally throws have an edge over the rest of the field. This is a horse with a buyer's edge. Now the move off the last 3 races on the turf back to the main track today, maybe a little bit of a question mark, because the dirt races are going back to a totally another surface on a different track. So there may be a little bit of a question mark there whether this horse is better on the turf or not. But I think if you go over the lifetime numbers, this horse has done well on the main track. And as I say, all this horse has to do is live up to its normal numbers, and I think there's an edge on this field. Bear Famous Trip on top. Second spot, the number 11 Strategist. This is another one. I had the horse earlier on the card today. I said, we'll know more about this horse after the race today, because that last buyer figure was a little bit of an aberration going back 4 or 5 starts. Now you go back prior to that, and this horse has some back numbers. So this horse may be just cycling around to a top on the form cycle. I'll hope for that and believe in that last number. But stuck out on the 11 post, we'll have to overcome that a little bit, and we'll have to, again, validate and prove that last start and the buyer figure fired there was for real. But I have Strategist in the mix. And then the number 2, Reach a Decision. Moved in from Southern California, got the venue class relief, ran for a 6,250 tag last time and didn't show much, but got a little education down here at Turf Paradise. Now, that was over the turf course, but again, acclimated to the surroundings, hopefully, now, and moving over to the main track where this horse has run at Santa Anita on the dirt. So, against better, it wasn't a good finishing position, but I think with the number fired there against 8,000s back at Santa Anita, and as I say, 6,250 last time at Turf Paradise, now goes for 3,000. So I just think there's a number of things moving in the right direction. The move from Southern California to a turf race against a little bit better last time gets the additional class relief today. Again, as I say, perhaps acclimated to things out there in Arizona. I think Reach a Decision will run better than we saw last time on the move to Turf Paradise. So in the 8, I have it 6, 11, 2, and 7.
Moving on to the finale, they're having a short day there compared to Sunland Park, I guess. These are $3,000 beaten claimers, and they're 4-year-olds and up, going 6.5 furlongs, and once again, it's like it's a split division or something. This time we have sprinters who have not finished in the money at the meet.
I have it 8, 1, 7, and 6, and this one I'm going to do a 2-horse exacta box, and I don't have the morning line again, but I think my top 2 are probably going to be short prices, so there'll be maybe a little bit of value just to take a shot with. But I have it, again, 8, 1, 7, and 6. We'll box the top 2. The 8 is Desert Gulch. I think this horse on the class drop with some okay numbers is going to be interesting in here. Moved to Turf Paradise last time and ran on the turf. Get some additional class relief today. And again, you go back to another track, was running okay on the dirt just prior. So I don't think the surface switch is going to be a big obstacle. I think also with the class relief, this horse becomes very interesting. Desert Gulch on top. Second spot, the number 1, Lewiston. Look at the rest of the field. This horse has very solid numbers. Again, if my top pick runs to its normal numbers, Desert Gulch is going to be the one to beat. And if Lewiston runs to its normal numbers, has an edge on the rest of the field. So again, makes sense to go too deep with an exacta box because I think these two have an edge on the others in here. So 8, 1 exacta box, and then in the third spot, I'll go with the number 7. It doesn't add up. I just think this is a horse that should fit with this bunch. And again, once you get past the top 2, you're just kind of juggling things up a little bit, but there's just enough to tilt in the favor of it doesn't add up. 2-horse exacta box play of the day to round things out of Turf Paradise. 8, 1, 7, and 6. And that'll wrap things up for Turf Paradise. A little earlier on, Mike took a look at Sunland. And again, if you didn't tune in earlier in the show, Beulah, Charlestown Parks canceled today. Not a shock given the temperatures out there.
Not at all.
I'm being told in my ear, Monticello is also canceled? Monticello is canceled as well, and again, not a shock given the the temperatures out there. I know I wouldn't want to be riding a horse.
I just hope we don't walk out the door and find out there's a tractor broken down blocking our cars.
We may have to wait till sunset for that situation. All right, again, limited action on the network this afternoon. You're looking at Turf Paradise, Sunland, Western Fair, Dover Downs, and Northfield. And as you can tell just by looking at that, that's probably one of the most limited schedules I've ever seen on the network, but a lot of that is due to the weather, which is affecting major portions of the country. I was looking down, I have a sister in Arkansas, and when I looked at the temperature map, even down in Arkansas, things were chilly. So it's just, I heard it explained on one of the news stations. Polar vortex, who knew?
Who knew? I used to live in Milwaukee, so I've been through it.
Polar, yeah, there you go.
I've seen them.
And so again, limited schedule here on the network, but plenty of action, plenty of opportunities. Hopefully we gave you some good advice. Don't forget to go over to capitalotb.com each and every day. Handicappers Report link is right there with selections from the handicappers that are on that morning. Also, capitalotbbet.com. Jump on board there. There's our new state-of-the-art wagering platform. Won't be able to say it's our new platform for a whole lot longer, but it's a couple of months old, better part of a couple of months old, I guess now. But certainly if you haven't given it a shot, do. And if you're not a Capital Wagering account holder, don't forget, Bet 50, Get 50 continues this month. Jump on board. If you're a new account holder, as soon as you bet your first 50 in, Capital OTB puts 50 in, so for some free money out there, and being a member of the Capital Bets wagering platform allows you to jump on board that new wagering website, all the bells and whistles. All right, that'll wrap things up for the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill, Mike Jarbo, thanks for joining us this morning. Up next, Racing Across America.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.